Hello and welcome to Howzzat. It's been an incredible journey for us together. I have Vijay Lokapally, my friend and colleague, with me on the other side of the chat. Good morning to you, Vijay.
Hello, Rajaraman. It's going to be exciting. We are nearing the halfway mark of the tournament.
It's wonderful. Today seems a very special day, Vijay. Not only is it my mother's birthday, but I can see a book on your shelf. There seems to be a new edition there. Can you tell us what that is all about?
Oh, yes. I put it deliberately to catch your attention and of the viewers. It's the book Speed Merchants, which I've done with Gulu Ezekiel. It's a journey about India's fast bowlers. It's not like a historical document. We have just tried to write about how the fast bowling in India has evolved.
I'm sure the book will do really well, Vijay. It seems the first of its kind. There has been no book on Indian fast bowlers as such. I'm sure everyone is well documented. Knowing both of you, I'm sure you put in a lot of effort into making this spring alive. Thank you very much, Vijay, for that.
Yeah, Gullu has worked hard on the first section, which is up to 1978, and then I have written onwards from once Kapil Dev arrives.
I'm sure the book will do really well, Vijay. Let's move on to last night's game. Sunrisers Hyderabad scoring a big victory over Kings 11 Punjab.
Yes, thank you, Rajaraman, for your very kind words and good wishes. And you don't have to buy a copy. Your copy will come from me. And talking of the game, yes, it had its exciting moments and some very disappointing moments also for both the teams.
Terrific partnership between David Warner and Johnny Bairstow. I think the match was decided well and truly thanks to that opening stand.
Yeah, what a stand. I mean, 160 in 15 overs, 5 overs more to go. They got another 40 runs. They could have got another 60 runs the way they were going, but fabulous batting by David Warner and Bairstow.
Terrific effort also by the bowlers in the end to restrict the Kings 11 Punjab batting. But it was all about Warner and Bairstow. In fact, more about Bairstow than Warner. There were lots of interesting debate that sparked up last night thanks to that partnership. And everyone was wondering if Bairstow had stolen a march over David Warner. Normally, the aggressor, David Warner, he played second fiddle to Johnny Bairstow last night.
I'm sure Rajaraman, Warner wouldn't have felt bad about it because he was enjoying Bairstow's onslaught from the other end. And if you see, Bairstow actually tore apart the Kings 11 bowling. I mean, he was in such control, and with David Warner also getting a nice 50, there was very little to complain as far as Sunrisers Hyderabad is concerned.
Let's watch what Rashid Khan, Sunrisers Hyderabad leg spinner, had to say about this partnership, Vijay.
I think both have been doing so well for the team, and it's all about getting the momentum in the middle. You know, once somebody gets the momentum and he says, "I'm going to take the charge and lead now," and I think it's all about taking the responsibility there in the middle. And both are the very destructive batsmen, and both has done good job for the team so far. And it's all about being in the middle, taking the responsibility and doing well for the team. It's always great, when you have such kind of start, and I think Johnny Bairstow, David Warner, both are capable of giving us those starts, and they have done in the past as well in India. So I think so far they have done a great job for us as an openers, and as a bowler, you're always feeling great when you have such a big total on the board, and on these wickets, I think it's quite tough to chase down 200. And the average is like 170, 165. So that's what happens when you have a good start. Batsmen like Johnny Bairstow, David Warner, who are dangerous on any ground, any wicket. So quite happy the way they performed so far. And as a team, We just need to focus on going ahead and enjoy a game.
The focus is so much on team performance. It is not really on individual performances. As Rashid Khan just pointed out, if the team can focus sharp on what each one of them can do and come together as a unit, it will be good for the side. Sunrisers Hyderabad seem to have found that balance despite Bhuvaneshwar Kumar not being around for the side now.
Yes, they will definitely miss Bhuvaneshwar as the tournament progresses, as the batsmen come to grips with the better with the playing conditions. But yes, Rashid Khan was absolutely right as far as the strength of Sunrisers is concerned. They don't depend on an individual. I mean, it is not that if Warner or Bairstow don't get going, they would struggle. They have the strength they have a collective strength about the team, and it was on display last night.
That partnership would have disheartened Kings 11 Punjab bowlers, Vijay, but it was great to see Ravi Bishnoi come back strongly. For a young leg spinner to take a mauling in that first over of his from Bairstow and then come back and take the prize wickets of both David Warner and Bairstow in one over was a terrific comeback last night for Ravi Bishnoi.
Terrific comeback, and what I liked most about him is that he was fearless. I mean, it's good for Indian cricket that we're getting to see so many fearless spinners. And Bishnoi, I know for sure, Anil Kumble is working very hard on him. He has very high regards for this young bowler. He's going to groom him. Yes, he's yet to play first class cricket, but I'm sure this season or maybe the next we'll get to hear more about Bishnoi in long form of cricket. But last night he took those 2 wickets with great skills.
Terrific to watch him last night stage that comeback and bowl excellently in the death. For someone so young, for someone who has not had too much experience, for him to show the kind of guts and the kind of heart was wonderful to watch, Vijay. There was not much for KL Rahul to speak about. Of course, there was that fabulous knock by Nicholas Pooran. But let's watch what he has to say about the youngsters in the team, especially Ravi Bishnoi.
Yeah, see the youngsters in the team. IPL is the biggest platform, and they've all been working really hard. The 3 weeks that we spent here, Arshdeep and Bishnoi today, it's so good to see them be amongst the wickets, and they bowled some really pressure, like high pressure over. So it's great to see how they held their nerve and how they could bowl those big overs for the team and at this platform. So that will give them a lot of confidence. That will give the group a lot of confidence. So it's important that small things like this, it's infectious and it can spread to the rest of them. So really happy to see how Bishi and Arshdeep bowled.
एक समय स्कोर लग रहा था कि 160 पे 9 लॉस था, एक समय लग रहा था कि 220-25 रन बना देंगे, लेकिन एक और उभरता हुआ सितारा जो कि पंजाब से हर्षदीप सिंह, बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त बॉलिंग की उसने। और हम देख रहे हैं कि जब से आईपीएल शुरू हुआ है पंजाब से बहुत प्लेयर आ रहे हैं, और इस आईपीएल में भी है पिछले 2-3 साल में शुभमन गिल, अभिषेक शर्मा, अनमोल प्रीत जो कि मुंबई इंडियन में है, और मयंक मार्कंडे जिन्होंने मुंबई के लिए अच्छा किया था। तो ये बड़ी अच्छी बात है और मैं इसका श्रेय देता हूँ जो भी अपना ZCA या NCA जो कैंप लगते हैं जो BCCI ऑर्गेनाइज़ करती है, इन्हीं कैंप्स में ये बच्चे आते हैं और वहाँ पे अपनी स्किल और अपना मेंटल और फिज़िकली इनको काफ़ी कुछ इनको सीखने को मिलता है और वो तैयार होते हैं वहाँ उन कैंप्स में कि आगे की जो टॉप की क्रिकेट में उसमें परफॉर्म कैसे करना है। अर्शदीप सिंह की जो कि उसकी स्ट्रेंथ है, मैं देख रहा हूँ उसकी अच्छी हाइट अच्छी है, अच्छा तेज़ फेंकता है बॉल, और उसका जो प्लस पॉइंट है कि उसका बाउंस अच्छा है क्योंकि हाइट से है, प्लस यॉर्कर बहुत अच्छे मारता है और मुझे लग रहा है कि ये आगे जाके भी आगे हिंदुस्तान के लिए क्रिकेट खेल सकता है, इतना कैलिबर है इसमें।
Bowling was a big factor for Kings 11 Punjab, which seemed to leak too many runs in the end. But they did really well to pull the Sunrisers Hyderabad side back to 201 rather than 220, Vijay.
Yeah, that was a good. I mean, it did have an impact on the game. At least Kings 11 could go into the chase with a lot of hope. And even though they lost early wickets, Pooran did fight back, and there was always the chance of pulling off an improbable victory because he was just one man against the whole team. But for Pooran, I'm sure coming back to form with this innings in this tournament means good news for Kings 11 Punjab, who have a long way to go, in fact. Yes, that run out had an impact, but Nicholas Pooran was a treat to watch. I mean, you look at his backlift, you look at his range of shots, and the flow of his band. I mean, they were all proper shots. He was not slogging actually. It may have looked like slog for some, but they were proper cricket shots, and he was marking his areas well. He knew where he had to play those shots. So it was one fabulous innings which I really enjoyed.
It would have been great to have somebody at the other end who could match his stroke play, or at least give him a partnership that could be of sizable proportion. But Kings 11 Punjab batsmen, the rest of them were either foxed by the wonderful googly bowling by Rashid Khan, or by the younger fast bowlers who seem to have put their hands up and delivered for Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Oh yes, and as far as you mentioned, Rashid Khan, the more I watch, the more I fall in love with this cricketer. He is a joy to behold on the field. I mean, he's enjoying his cricket. He doesn't mind. He gives respect to the batsman. He knows his job is to bowl, to come up with those dot balls, and he is always looking for wickets. So he is a beautiful advertisement for the game, and very good, definitely for Afghanistan cricket.
Especially that one over that he bowled to Nicholas Pooran, where he kept him tied down and then got him out. To tie down a stroke player like he did and then get his wicket of the fifth delivery was a terrific exhibition, Vijay, like you pointed out. Let's watch what Rashid Khan himself has to say about that over.
Yeah, I think it was a very crucial hour, my last hour, and then I think Nicholas Pooran was in the mood as well, and he was going after the bowlers, and captain given me the ball, and I tried my best, bowl dot balls. I think the more I bowl dot balls, I think the better I will get the result. So that's what happened. I bowled first 4 dot balls, and then he tried to hit that too hard for a single, and which makes it give me a wicket as well. So in these wickets, if you bowling your right lane, right area, I think you will get the right result as well.
It was also heartening to watch Rashid Khan speak glowingly about the Sunrisers Hyderabad fast bowlers in Bhuvaneshwar Kumar's absence, whether it is Sandeep, whether it was Khalil or T. Natarajan. I think all of them did well for Sunrisers. Let's watch what Rashid Khan has to say about the three of them.
Yeah, it's a big loss for us. Bowie, so he has been doing so well for the team, not only with the new ball, but at the death as well, how he has been delivered for us, and especially his experience was helping us a lot. And as a senior bowler, he was always with us and discussing the wicket as well. So a big loss for us, but still I think we have the guys who are in a great form. Khalil, Natarajan, and Sandeep is there. So I think they are taking the responsibility, and that's the most important thing as well, that once you get an opportunity, you just need to go there and express yourself. And so far, I think the bowling unit has been doing so well, and quite happy with the result as well.
Bhuvaneshwar Kumar's absence from the Sunrisers Hyderabad bowling lineup does raise a lot of questions among the fans. Let's watch this question from Ajinkya Pandarkar about the Sunrisers Hyderabad bowling unit.
Hi, my question to Vijay sir and Rajaraman sir here is, Sunrisers Hyderabad have not been able to perform as well as they want to in terms of their bowling. Only Rashid has been the pick of the bowlers and he has been effective. But Mumbai Indians played a strategy in their match and played him out for 4 overs, kept him quiet and kept him out of the game. And they dominated SRH like anything in that match. Do you think that is going to affect them in the rest of the tournament?
A good question, Ajinkya. Obviously, you are a very good student of the game. I would love to answer this question. I think most teams would have done their homework. They would target the weak bowlers and definitely watch out for the better bowlers. Here, Rashid Khan has led the attack and so well. And you're so right that it is going to be a strategy for other teams. And it's a big challenge for Sunrisers Hyderabad. What do you think, Rajaraman?
Oh, we got to see it last night, Vijay. We got to see how Kings 11 Punjab was attacking the fifth bowler from Sunrisers Hyderabad. But then they did really well. The top 4 bowlers, each of them gave their best performance and delivered for Sunrisers Hyderabad. It is not as if only the opposition knows that the Sunrisers Hyderabad bowling is being weakened a little bit by the absence of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. but David Warner also will be prepared for an assault on his fifth bowler by the rival teams. Vijay, before we discuss tonight's game in brief, which is going to be Delhi Capitals against Rajasthan Royals in that small ground in Sharjah, let us take on a question from Dr. Nilesh Mehta from Chicago.
We are playing cricket in extremely unusual circumstances, unusual times. For the cricketers, they are in a bio bubble. They are confined to their hotel rooms. They are confined to very limited outdoor activities except for cricket. My question to these two outstanding cricket scribes, Mr. Rajaraman and Mr. Lokapally, is how are the cricket scribes and the cricket reporters getting used to this new abnormal for them? It's one thing to cover a cricket match, being in the stadium, looking at the cricket practices, interacting with the staff, etc., and getting a feel for the atmosphere around the stadium. And now you are in your own bio bubble, your own family room or bedroom with your laptop, a pen and a paper and television. How are you all adjusting to this new abnormal, as I would like to call it?
Thanks, Nilesh. A very good question, very probing question for journalists. I think I'll want Rajaraman to answer this.
First and foremost, Dr. Nilesh Mehta, who's an oncologist in Chicago, thank you very much for that question. Thank you to all the doctors and other medical staff who are working around the clock, around the world to help save us from this pandemic. It's a very interesting question. It has forced all of us to stay at home, indoors, and watch cricket on television and talk about it or write about it. But some of us have done this before. It is not the first time that technology is helping bring home cricket to the writers. I remember reading when I was growing up, I remember reading commentary used to happen through telegram. Test match in Australia, telegram would flow to England. In the BBC studios, people would sit, read out the telegram, and use a pencil or a pen to create a sound of ball hitting back. So it is not the first time technology has been used in the manner it is being done right now. Ideally, of course, I would like to watch a game at a cricket ground. There is nothing like the ambience of a cricket ground. There is nothing like having a 180-degree vision and watching everything. There are lots of off-the-ball incidents that will catch the eye of a journalist. There are small things that you pick up between overs that we don't get to see on the broadcast. For example, Anil Kumble walking in at the strategic timeout and having a conversation with his bowlers. That is something you would have noticed in the ground. You don't get to see that on television, at least spontaneously. So there is a lot of positives about watching a game at the ground, nothing like it, Dr. Nilesh Mehta. But these are tough times. We have to adapt as well. And I'm sure that many journalists are doing exactly the same thing.
I think the youngsters have adapted. They've learned to follow the game on television because there's so many football games they follow on television and then write. But for me, the biggest handicap of covering from television is I don't get to see the field placements.
They're trying very hard to show us the field map at certain points of time. But like you said, you would want to watch the field placement because one of the most crucial parts of captaincy is field placing. And what we get to see is catches go to hand or not go to hand. And yes, you're right. You would like to see the field placement in the ground and understand the nuances of strategic thinking of the captains. The other thing that journalists would probably miss out on watching is the small tips that fielders or wicketkeeper might sometimes give to the bowlers or to the captain. These are small things that sometimes go on to become a big story. I remember there was a time when Sachin Tendulkar volunteered to bowl the last over of the Hero Cup. This is back in 1993 at the Eden Gardens against South Africa. It was the semi-final match, and India squeaked through by the skin of its teeth. Sachin Tendulkar bowling a last over. And everybody thought it was Sachin Tendulkar. Vijay, you will bear me out. It was Vijay Yadav, the wicketkeeper, who came up with the crucial suggestion for Mohammad Azharuddin and Sachin Tendulkar.
Absolutely, Rajaraman. Both of us were there, and I met Vijay the next day, and that's where we got to know the suggestion had come from him.
So these are small things, Dr. Nilesh Mehta, that we miss out on watching at the ground itself. And it is better to be home, better to wear the mask when going out, and better to keep physical distance from people. I don't think it would have been a great idea for spectators to be at the ground. I'm not very happy with the kind of sound that are being played on television. I would rather have an empty stadium and silence to enjoy the game a little bit more. Vijay, we'll move on. Nilesh Mehta gave us a very good interlude. There was a little digression that we had. Wonderful to go back in the past a little bit and talk a little bit about technology as well. Rajasthan Royals versus Delhi Capitals. Delhi Capitals on a roll should look to wrap this one up too, with the big scorers, with the big hitters making the most of the small ground in Sharjah.
Yes, Delhi Capitals, everything falling in place. Would it not be fun to watch an aggressive innings from Shikhar Dhawan? He is due for a big knock, and Steve Smith. I'm sure it's going to be a close contest. Yes, Rajaraman, let us get ready for the battle of sixes.
Thank you very much, Vijay. And one more time, I hope speed does well. It will be welcomed by critics and by connoisseurs of the game alike. And I'm sure the fans will love to dip into Indian cricket history, especially through the eyes of fast bowlers.
Thank you very much. And here is a closer look for you.
Thank you very much, Vijay, with Kapil Dev, Zahir Khan, and the latest sensation, Jasprit Bumrah on cover. On that note, Vijay, I will take leave of you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.